During our dating period, it was very interesting.
Yeah.
Very
interesting. Yeah.
Because as we began to, I think one of the best gifts God gave us was to be friends first.
Yeah.
Because we had already broken the barrier of making impressions.
Yeah.
Because if we had started off dating, we would probably have gone in trying to make impression, you know, I'm like this. But he already knew the kind of person that I was because he was really my friend. And he had been with me when I'm at home. He had seen me when I'm mad, when I'm doing crazy things. And so there was, hapo nilikuwa nishachoma kama kulikuwa na kuchoma, hapo kulikuwa na moving back. So for us, we began having, how can I say, like connection friction.
Yeah.
Very early.
True.
Before we even got married. So fortunately for us, we had quite a number of couples that were working with us. And I mean, if there are young people who are listening to us, please don't walk the journey alone, even when you're dating. Because it is because of the people that were working with us that 15 years down the road, you can see us laughing the way we are laughing and looking like we just met yesterday. The counsel that they gave us, the pedal stones and the bridge that they gave us to step on because of the errors they had made that we didn't have to, because they allowed us to learn from their mistakes. So sometimes we would be so mad at each other. I remember one time I was so angry at him. I can't remember why I was angry now, but I told him we have to go and see our best couple. I think we need to just pause the wedding for now. I know it was just one of those still conflict of trying to blend the personalities that we both shared. And when we got to, I remember it was Java Adams Arcade. It was around 11 a.m. in the morning. Yani, that is how vivid it is to me. So we go in and they sit and they listen to us. We vent, and then they're like, yeah, I think maybe you're right. You need to take a break. Then we looked at each other. I held his hand. I told him, Allah. Yani, they are endorsing that we take a break. Until we take a break. Now we we got annoyed at them.
that was after. Now the following day. You're like, so what do you think about? You said,
like, break up. As in, they were supposed to tell us not to break up. They were supposed to tell us this is what you do, this is how you navigate. Until we break up. Until what? And because that, for us, that was a turning point to recognize that this was very valuable to us, that we were not willing to allow anything to take this away from us. So that in a way was our point of knowing, enyewe, 22, is all the way.
It's all the way.
So the premarital classes helped us to learn how to navigate, to prepare, how to do finance in marriage, how to, both of us were virgins. So we needed to be able to be counseled to know what to even do, where to begin. We needed to be able to be taught how a home is run. I was coming straight from my mother's house, having lived away in a foreign country, so it was going to be different for us here. My husband is from a family that was complicated because his father left when he was 8 years old. And so he had a stepfather, and they didn't have that greater relationship. And I was coming from a home where my dad and my mom were best of friends. As in, I used to look at my parents and think, enyewe, I have to get married if this is what marriage is. They did everything together. They literally did everything together. Slept together, woke up, showered together, dressed together, came, had breakfast together, worked in the same office. So they would drive to work together. So for me, the imagery of marriage that I had and the one that he had were night and day. So the premarital classes really helped us to be able to understand our families of origin, to be able to understand the kind of hiccups we should expect when we got married. It was an eye opener. Discovering even expectations. She had an expectation, like she said, you know, parents working together, everything together. Kwanza ngoja, when it came to birthdays, I never used to celebrate birthdays. I never knew birthday. Kwanza nilikuwa kumbuka my birthday the following day. So she would buy me gifts. And she would like, why are you not excited? I'm like, I'm excited, I'm happy. Akisa nimesave, sijakula lunch, sijafanya nini, nimembaya, alafu anaiangalia, oh, thank you, as in, ni celebration ile ya, oh, But now, during premarital, we learned our love languages. So me, I'm a gifts person. So I'm always buying people things. I'm always giving people things. And then I expect them to celebrate the way I do. Then they don't. Now for him, it's time.
Yeah.
So sometimes during my birthday, I'd be like, So he's like, but I'm with you.
I'm with you. I mean, I'm all that you need.
Kuna presents. So I mean, the premarital classes really helped us. Really, really, really helped us.
Wedding preparation and all that, we decided to cut our suits according to our size. We didn't want pressure. But God was so gracious because we had surrounded ourselves with a lot of couples who are friends. Yeah. We gained favor with them. They formed their own committee and informed us. By the way, tumesha form committee. We're like, oh wow, God is gracious. So for us, that was like a stamp by God tell us, hey, I'm with you, and you're on the right track. Yes. So it was awesome.
Actually, planning for our wedding was easy.
Yeah.
Things that we hadn't planned for, they planned for. As in, our wedding was planned for us. We showed up to our wedding. Yeah. Because first of all, of God's grace. I mean, my husband carries favor like, I don't know, I can't be able to explain. There is just something about him that attracts goodness. And so we, like he's saying, we had a committee they formed. They even had a tea party and raised money for our wedding. We were not even there.
We were not even invited.
Because they had told us, write for us what you would want for your wedding. So we wrote, and we wrote a budget that was within what we knew we could afford. Yeah. Because we did not want to impose on anybody anything. And they took that and ran with it. They paid for everything. I kid you not, we didn't pay for anything for our wedding. Yeah. Nothing. We paid for nothing. We hadn't even planned honeymoon. In fact, we had said honeymoon.
Yeah, by the way,
tender to home.
Yeah, but atuka na do hivyo sana. Nasema kwani never that
what
serious.
Is the big deal?
What is the big deal?
Yeah,
we'll just go home. No one will know.
Nobody's gonna know.
Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know.
So kwa tumesema change quietly tuingie tu gari yetu to drive home.
Yeah, but
surprise on us because a wonderful guy paid for us to go to South Africa for our honeymoon. Yeah. Nothing within even what we would have imagined. At our wedding, we even had nyama choma. Who has nyama choma at their wedding?
It was not even planned for.
As we had planned for jahe.
Yeah.
Na salad. Na moshere.
Actually, we never even tasted the nyama choma. We were being told.
We were being told. We didn't even know there was nyama choma at the wedding. We were being told, Badaye, hey, that wedding of yours, there was nyama choma. And actually, all the way planning through, all the, like the Rorashio meetings and everything, you see the way couples normally have to raise money to do we paid nothing. My dad had said that no dowry should be paid for his daughters because there is no price, and that he never wanted us to ever feel that because a price was paid, that wezi toka kikiumana. So, but his family was very honorable. Regardless of my mom saying what my dad's wishes were, they still came and gave. And I remember when we had gone to Meru to see where I'm coming from, I'm Meru. So when we got to the church, aki ilikuwa kaa harusi. Church ilikuwa imejaa kabisa mpaka mwisho. Walikuwa wamepika. Yani ilikuwa wedding kabisa. They even now, they were supposed to be bringing dowry. We are the ones who are being given gifts.
Yeah.
Tulitoka hapo kaa tumepewa mpaka do. Sijui vitu za nyumba. Yani ilikuwa kaa harusi. Then we come now to Nairobi when they were supposed to now come now to see my mom. Yeah. The space at the house was too small, so we did it at the church.
The second visit.
Now that was now another wedding. Yeah. In fact, when they arrived at church.
Actually, we were thinking there's another function. Kuna function inaendelea, so we just wait. Only to realize.
Function yao. Parking ilikuwa imejaa. Hall ilikuwa imejaa. Watu wako kwa stage wanaimba, yani ilikuwa kaa harusi ingine. Hey, it's like we had 3 weddings.
Yeah, I know.
I kid you not. We saw so much favor. Like the endorsement of God for our marriage was so evident all the way through. I mean, when I tell you that we saw God, we saw him proper. Because of how he provided, how he made room, how the way that people supported us was overwhelming, absolutely overwhelming.
Yeah, and then we get married.
Yes.
Was it a honeymoon, baby?
No, it was not. I wanted a honeymoon baby.
Yeah, she wanted a honeymoon baby. Yeah.
But then the Lord was merciful to me. Because if I had gotten a honeymoon baby, I don't know where our marriage would have been today. So when we came back for after the honeymoon, I was actually supposed to go for training to the UK. Like
immediately.
Like I think 2 weeks into the marriage. And he was like, no, you're not going. And that is the day I knew actually, when the Bible says that there is a priest in your home, and that is your husband, when he says, it is the voice of God that has said, that's the day I knew. Because let me tell you, I was denied the visa. There was no reason for being denied the visa. The money was available, I was not even the one paying. The office was the one that was paying. They refused to give me a visa. I told my husband, he said, yeah, you have just married you.
Hata sikujui la mumeenda.
Yeah. So transitioning now to living together, I was marrying my father.
Yeah.
And so having seen him do everything at home, my dad used to cook for us, my dad used to come, and I think my dad was, how can I say, you know the way people say that people idolize their fathers?
Yeah.
Me even, I had even built the idol itself, it was there. He was God to me because of the kind of man that he was.
Yeah.
So I saw him do everything for my mom, everything. As in my mom would be seated in the living room watching a soap opera and my father is in the kitchen cooking. So that is the man I married.
Yeah.
This is not my father. It's not my father. I sit in the living room to be made for. It's a lie. I discovered in my marriage, way. So I would be in the kitchen and I'm like, how could you kunisaidia? Then he's like, kufanya. I'm like, tumetoka job, si wawili. Hata mimi nimechoka. Kwa nini ukuje kunisaidia? And then you see the other disadvantage I had was having been in America just before. See there everything is co-sharing.
Yeah.
I married a Kikuyu man. This Kikuyu man behaves like a Kikuyu man. He does not go to the kitchen.
Oh my God.
It's so fire.
But nowadays I go. Yeah.
He has been converted by the blood. But it was very difficult for me because I couldn't understand why he was behaving the way he was behaving, because the only mental picture I had of a husband was my father.
And I couldn't understand why she's asking me to go and help her in the kitchen. Me, I knew that, ladies, when you go to the home, that is their domain. Yeah, so sometimes, now, she's a happy-go-lucky. And like I told you, our challenges were personality, personality what?
Intertwining.
Yeah. So labda, for example, Jioni, I ask her, could you please make me a cup of tea? Then she'll jokingly say, ulikuwa nasema, chai, acha tukapa tu, tutenda tupiki. I'm wondering.
My husband's mom is very calm, very cool, very, how can I say, like she's not like me, I'm a fighter, so I think because of how he had seen his mom, he was seeing a very strange woman in his home, who when she's told to do something, she actually asks why.
Yeah.
Why can't you do for yourself? So for him it was a bit, so what's happening here exactly? So sometimes he would like he's saying, he would be like, okay, I want to take tea, and I'd say, hey, it would be very nice to take tea, isn't it? So he's going to make for us tea.
Can you imagine?
He's thinking, Allah, what is wrong with this, my wife? Or he would be like, wow, nimesikia tu na crave tu kukula ka ugali na nyama. Then I would tell him, hey, hiyo ni poa. Mtu akapika ugali na nyama inaweza kuwa poa. And sometimes I'll just say that jokingly, because that's the nature, that's my nature. I love to kid. But it didn't come across to him that way. It came across disrespectful. It came across dishonorable. And we had some major fights. And because he would tell me, why are you being sarcastic? You don't respect me. And because of my personality, he felt like he needed to assert himself so that I would be able to pay attention. And it was very difficult because now I was thinking, you're supposed to be loving me. You're supposed to be were told in the class that you should love me like Jesus. Hey, does not look like Jesus' love. So sometimes he would say very harsh words.
Yeah.
And it would really rub me the wrong way. And sometimes we would go days without really interacting or speaking.
It's true.
And it was very, very difficult in the first few months of just being able to understand how we really function without being, you know, when you're going for a date, it's limited time.
Yeah.
But now we were together all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. So navigating through that, the conversations, was, for us, I think what, how can I say, you know, they normally say that the stones in the water don't begin off as smooth. But as they go rubbing and rubbing and rubbing, as the water is flowing, then they become the smooth stones that you see everyone wanting to decorate their homes with. So for us, that flowing down the stream and the rubbing, as we learnt one another and as we merged our personalities, smoothened us to now 15 years down the road, we still laugh. We still joke. We still, a lot of people don't believe that we have been married for 15 years when they see us, because I mean, sometimes we get home and sit in the car and talk for 3 hours in the car, and we came from the same office.
Same office, yeah. But actually what helped us is talking about them, being frank.
Yeah.
We never hid our frustrations and hid under the carpet. Kama is the way I found her sarcastic, I will tell her, hey manze, you're being sarcastic, you're being disrespectful. I will tell her, and she'll also do the same. Like I told you, I never used to celebrate birthdays, so her birthdays will come. Peter, man, she'll get annoyed, man. You don't love me.
For real, I actually thought to myself, how can this man say he loves me and he doesn't celebrate my birthdays? He doesn't remember any of the major events. Aki, our first anniversary, I'm the one who planned it by myself.
Can you imagine? Because for me, celebration was not really a thing. I was like, you have me, you have everything. But I learned her. It was a beautiful. It's still a beautiful journey, and I'm still discovering you.
Yeah, I am too.
Wow, glory.
I look forward to a deeper friendship. One of our passions as a couple is marriage.
Yes.
Because we have seen how marriage has really made us who we are. And I think I have grown more in my marriage than when I was a single girl. Because my husband has believed in me. My husband has pulled out of me things I didn't even know existed inside of me, because of how he has encouraged me, how he has pushed me forward. So 15 years down the road, I look forward to being able to work with other couples that are behind us, being able to invest into the next generation. We have started several books that we are still penning as we journey on. So I look forward to maybe having 15 books written by then that can help those that are coming behind us in a generation now where marriage is not really valued, where marriage is looked down on, and where marriage has tried to be redefined, where divorce is now celebrated, and people don't even walk into marriage expecting it to work. You walk in with a game plan of exit.
Yeah, it's true.
I pray that 15 years down the road that we can be like a beacon or a tower, a lighthouse, for marriages that will come after us to look to and say, if theirs worked, then we stand a chance. That's what our prayer is, that God can use us to reestablish the hope for marriage for the next generation.
It will be to inspire, like you said, other couples and younger couples. And even currently, we are in that space where people come ask us questions and like, hey, there's something that actually we need to do. We need to pen down. She has gone back to school to prepare her for that. I'm also completing school this year in preparation for that. So we're looking forward even to discover you more. Like I say, marriage is a journey. So getting to know you better, becoming a better parent. And
15 years down the road, you know, we'll be planning weddings now. I have 2 daughters and a son, so we'll be planning their weddings as well, and imparting in them as well, because we are praying for them too, to have a marriage that they will enjoy like we have, and for them to be able to see in us what they would want, like I did in my parents.
Advice to young couples, I always say this, never put marriage on autopilot.
Yeah. Don't
assume that things will just work out, things will fall in place. Because most people look at marriage, they're like, oh yeah, the wedding day, this will be, then they don't think
they
about...
invest a lot.
They invest a lot in the wedding day and forget about the marriage. Marriage is work. Just like a manual car, you've got to service it. Ukipeleka gari unasikia kelele, ding, 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 you know, either it's a bearing ama kuna kitu mbaya kwa engine. And most people ignore or assume things will just fall into place. And when you neglect to attend, it becomes a bigger problem.
That's true.
And people like hide things under the carpet.
And they keep tripping.
Yeah. Let me tell you, you'll hide it and it'll still be there.
Yes.
It will grow until one day is like, it will be a surprise on you. Surprise, boom. Then be wondering, why are we separating? Yeah. It's because of issues and unresolved issues. Yeah. Whenever they come, talk about them. Yeah. Never sleep angry. Yeah. Address issues and never put marriage on autopilot. Yeah. Yeah.
And for me, I would say prepare. Yeah. I cannot say it enough. Prepare.
Yeah.
That's the greatest gift we got. Preparation. Because we would not have been able to navigate without what we had invested in us by those that had gone ahead of us. Yeah. Don't walk alone. Don't be a couple that is isolated from, especially couples that are older than you, that you admire, that you see their marriage is working. Pull out of them everything you possibly can.
I'm telling you, ask questions.
Yes, ask questions. Don't think you know. You don't know. You're never been married before. You have no idea. You have never been in that year of marriage before. Yeah. So you can only learn from those that have gone ahead of you. And read widely, because that's something that we do. Every year we read a minimum of 2 books on marriage, because we want to keep learning. We want to keep equipping ourselves. Just recently we started reading Love and Respect, and we read it, I think, 6 years ago. So we are reading it a second time. And reading it a second time, I was thinking to myself, there's some areas I need to readjust. I think there are some things I've become familiar, I need to adjust. So read, and study from manuscripts that have been written. And that's the reason why those things have been written down, so that you can be able to learn from them. In the scriptures, you will see the Israelites always setting up an altar, so that the next generation would come and ask, why is this here? The books have been written so that you can be able to, when you find an issue, go and research about it. Find out, by the way, what is this love languages people are talking about? What is this? How do we resolve conflict better? Learn, how can I love my husband better? How can I become a better wife? One of the things that I remember my maid of honor said to me was, don't want to become who you haven't learned to be. If you will go to school to study to become a doctor, you will go to school to study to become a presenter, you will go to school to become a producer, why don't you want to study to be a wife? So I have studied to become a wife. And actually one of the books that I'm writing at the moment is titled Becoming a Wife. And I studied from God's word. What is definition? Who does he say that is? Learn. Because you cannot become who you haven't learned to be. And you have never been a wife before. So study, learn, put those things into yourself so that you can become it. If you want to have the best marriage, the only way to have the best marriage is to read about it, study about it, prepare for it.
Learn temperaments, love languages. For us, one of the conflicts that we used to have is the love language. Her love language and my love language are totally different. And for young couples out there, they may be blaming the other spouse for not loving them.
They don't know.
They don't know their love language. So the guy or the lady, and I'm about your gifts, I'm about your time. I'm like, you're not loving me enough. But it's just they've not discovered their love language. How to communicate. Yeah.
And the vocabulary grows as the year goes.
I'm telling you. But then it changes. She's not the same person as in we grow. And with every growth, adjust. Don't be rigid. Be flexible. Well, I don't know how life would be without you in my life. You have been an encourager. You have been like an inspiration. Nikamuja petroli. I don't know whether I don't know whether that is romantic, but I know petrol. I know petrol is not really.
Sahi iko scarce, so.
Oh yeah, by the way, yeah.
Okay, sorry, love letter.
Love letter. Like a petrol, you know, pouring on my ambitions and all that. And you've been an encourager. And this world, or my world, will not be the same without you. I can't really your imagination at your thought at it makes sense. So you made life easy, you made life enjoyable, and you've been a good wife and a good mother to 3 little kids. And I'm looking forward to greater things ahead. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for being real and open, and for being authentic, and not for hiding your feelings or how you feel. You made it easy for me to be a better husband. And I pray God helping me to become better and better and better with time. Just like wine, the way they say, the more it ages, it becomes more potent. So that's my prayer that I will be to you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, I would have gone fast. Wacha tu. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be crazy. Thank you for allowing me to be myself. And for believing in me when I most doubted myself. Thank you for walking the darkest days of my life with me, because had I not had you to walk with me in my darkest hours, I probably would have lost myself. Thank you for making me the woman that I am today. I've actually discovered that I have spent more time with you now than I have with my own family, because I went to boarding school at an early age and then left for the US. So I have lived longer with you than I have with my own family. So thank you for having such a great impact on me. Wow. A lot of people applaud me for things they don't know you have polished in the secret. A lot of people applaud me for being bold, and they don't know how many times you've been the one fanning my flame and encouraging me to step out and be who God has called me to be. Thank you for being such a great father to our children, for praying for them, for anointing them, for allowing them to experience fatherhood, which I know you desperately wanted and you didn't have. So thank you for turning the coin around and starting a new page for the next generations to come. Wow. I love you with all of my heart, and if I had to do it again, I'm grateful that God would still choose you for me, because if I was choosing, I probably would have chosen the wrong thing, and I'm so glad that you chose me.